Bunnycast episode 48, part 1, going up! Today on the Bunnycast, we talk about the comic, the forums, a lot of it, and we also talk about Skype stock options, things happening with Nintendo, that guy with the glasses, one more time, and also a lot to do with Team Fortress 2. Today on the Bunnycast.
Squato is spy! I am the Overmatch!
This is the Bunnycast Network.
And introducing the Bunnycast Kazoo, Beer Bottle, and Washboard Band. Welcome to another episode of the Bunnycast. I am your hostess, Dame Helen, the LeatherClad. We have with us also, returning after a brief hiatus last week, the Right Reverend Lord Sir Killerfish of the Keenfans.
Yay!
And, as usual, we have Squato. Okay, this podcast, for those of you who are joining us fresh and new, is for the Bunny community. The Bunny community is for the webcomic Elguna Shive. The Elguna Shive webcomic is written by Dan Shive. Dan Shive gave the title to the fans called them bunnies when they said, hey, we'd like to get an official name from you. And he said, fine, you're bunnies, because I don't want to deal with it. And we said, yay, we're bunnies! And thus the Bunnycast. The Bunnycast has nothing to do with Elguna Shive, although we are the official podcast of the Bunny community. Don't think too hard about it.
You did that much better than that hack that did it last time. I mean, boy, he completely butchered the whole thing.
So, to summarize the comic, to introduce the comic to, again, those who might be new, it focuses on the adventures and exploits of a group of high school teenagers. Now, before you gag and turn away, these are not your normal teenagers. They're not normal by any stretch of the imagination at all. In fact, we find out that this community that they live in may not be normal by any stretch of the imagination either. There are aliens, anthropomorphic people, who, various animal types, magic, mad science, aliens. Did I mention aliens? Alien technology involved very heavily. Wizards that come back from being turned into stone.
They're used to soft, obviously. Sorry, that just came to me instantly. I had to say that. Yeah.
You know what? When it comes up in the battle sequence, you got to take your options, or else you take damage.
Yeah.
So if you go to EGScomics.com right now and take a look at the comic that is available, you will be lost completely. If you really
is there the black monster there? The smoke monster?
Nope.
No, not that lost.
You're looking at a previous
Everyone save me now. What? Okay, I've got the lost gags out for everyone.
Yes. Okay, so For those who have been following the comic, there is in the last 2 frames a big revelation that totally changes the game for everything, and it brings up way too many freaking questions, which is a sign of a good writer.
And hence you've also got the commentary also helping with the particular point that without their knowledge or consent. Because people were going, knowing the fans are like, hang on, this person, you've suddenly changed this character arc or things like that. It's like, no. We kind of had the hint dangling there in the first place. Although I will sort of say I kind of had expected to see sort of along something like that happening. Not this way, but I sort of did expect to see the strong implication of what's coming up with this. But then again, the reason why I say that is I saw this a long time ago, and that's partly because when I did a lot of analysation of the story for the music videos I've done in the past. Yeah. Well, I actually have something planned with it.
Yeah. Just to get a little inside baseball, so for those of you who may have be joining us from without having read El Gunashiv, just fair warning, we're going to be talking about plot-specific stuff. It's
spoilers.
Yes, it's kind of interesting to see what's happening with Justin, and especially given how insecure he is in his own abilities as comparison to what you might consider to be the big cheeses like Elliot, Ellen, even Ted to a more limited degree, because Ted can kind of hold his own. He's shown that. But of course, Justin has always shown, and we got that during the Dreams story arc, that he's been fairly insecure as to his relationship with the other characters. So, okay, that's enough of me being inside baseball.
Yeah, the first thing I saw, the second I saw that in the EGS thing, the first thing I saw, hang on a second, isn't that the same symbol that Abel from Dan and Mav's Furry Adventures has on the back of his bag?
Oh my god, somebody's got to do fan art of that.
Yes, because I just noticed that. I'm just going through the archive and as we speak, trying to find it, and I thought, hang on a second, that's the same symbol. Wait a minute,
somewhere else.
Justin is a QB.
There's somewhere else that's sort of got a similar symbol to that. But I can't think where.
It's a flame.
And I know it's a common enough looking symbol, but that style is my point.
Well, here we go. For people who want to know, it is comic number 28 in the Abel arc of Dan and Mab's Fairy Adventures, missmab.com. Hang on a second, I've sent it to the wrong thing for everybody else on the podcast to watch. Huzzah! Things
Who's
going
inside
wrong
baseball? We're inside baseball. Just missmab.com for Dan and Mab's Furry Adventures. It's a webcomic that is read by many of the fans of El Gunashiv. So there's a lot of crossover between the bunny community and the whatever that community is called as well. So just as an FYI. Hey, there you go. For any new people who have not read EGS or Dan and Mab's Furry Adventures, 2 reading assignments for you. EGS.com, EGScomics.com. Go back in the archives, start at the beginning. Don't turn away from the bad art at the beginning. And MissMap.com, go to the archives, go back to the beginning. Again, don't be turned off by the bad art.
I haven't actually read Dan and Mab's Furry Adventures. Furry Adventures.
Failed! No,
you failed.
To be fair, I've kind of done a little bit of reading of MS Paint Adventures, and dear God, there's a fuckload with that one. I'll do a quick side with that. For anyone that doesn't know why I'm saying the point with that, the guy only updates 1 panel at a time, but he tends to update something in the order of anywhere from 1 panel to 20 panels per day. And it's flash animation with sound. He records the music himself.
Oh, this could either be really good or really bad. Okay.
Why can't it be both?
All right, so we've covered a little bit of comic news. Let's cover some forum news. It's
still there.
Yes, the forums are still there. In the newbie intro forum, let's meet some newbies. We have Jem with the topic Hi All. Haven't really delved into that one too deep myself. That's my own feeling. I'll be greeting people after the podcast.
Just as a warning, people, we sometimes forget who we've introduced, and we do occasionally repeat people. So if we have repeated you, we just like you more than everybody else.
Okay, and next up we
Just
have...
to repeat, we sometimes forget people and...
What are we talking about? What's going on? Who am I? Why am I here? Who are you people?
I'm your best
There
friend.
must be
You're gonna
some
give me
way
all
out
your
of
money.
here.
I'm
a prince in Nigeria.
Spammer, die! Okay, next up we have Pax Aaron with the introduction topic, Dynamic Entry! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Somebody's a Naruto fan, obviously.
That's all.
Hey, I like that. And finally we have the user Folhe. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Foelhe, with the forum thread Hello All. So
Foley.
Foley is in Axel Foley?
I don't know, but if that's the case, good pun.
Wait, we're going to do that on the kazoo beer bottle and washboard band
No.
Axel Foley feature.
No.
No, if you do that, you just make a sound that sounds a lot similar to the fucking frog thing. So, no.
Oh yeah, good point.
Okay.
Nobody likes.
Although
a
not as
frog.
annoying.
Right up towards the top of the on the EGS general discussion forums, there is everybody's favorite, the perennial most popular EGS strip slaying. And I have no idea what the most recent strip slay is. I just know that every time I go there, I get a really good chuckle. So, if for those who are unfamiliar with what EGS strip slaying is, think kind of MST3K meets a remix, meets a overdub, meets a mashup. Basically, some fans will take frames or sometimes entire comics of EGS and erase the text from the text bubbles and add their own text. A perfect example is You Will Never Know's very first posting introducing the EGS strip slaying thread to the 19 community forums is just a one panel. It shows female Ted on top of male Grace. It says, I appear to be stuck. Male Grace. See, I told you my slight obsession with glue could be used for good.
Subtle.
Subtle as a brick wrapped in a slice of lemon.
Hey, how do you know about my cocktail lists?
We're working with lemons. We're working with lemons here, folks. Cave Johnson. I'm out.
We're down here.
We're not banging rocks here together.
Oh, I don't think I've seen this particular strip slay, even though it's right near towards the beginning. It shows Elliot lying in bed. Ellen appears to be jumping, but then the next frame shows her a lot closer to the camera, slightly blurry. Then it shows her back in the original position, and Elliot says, "You're going to break the ceiling fan." Nice.
If you want a quick link to that one in this feed, we'll take a look anyway.
Okay, let's see. Copy image.
But we'll keep going with the stuff.
No, copy image address. Here we go. Here you guys go. Enjoy. Alrighty.
Same with the Portal 2 thing. Quick reminder: they've just Valve's just released their second. Was it the Portal audio seamless package, aka known as Volume 2 of Portal's 2's soundtrack has been released, and like the previous one, it's for free. So there's just one more to go. So if you want good game music, Download it now.
There you go.
Indeed.
Okay.
Hey, it's free music. What are you going to complain about?
Oh, absolutely. Now, while Squato was talking, I went ahead and I jumped to the end of the strip sleigh.
That was not a distraction, or was it?
And I love this. Okay, who was this? This was Wix. Grabbed the final panel from the most recent comic and edited out the flame icon and put in a stamp that says Chuck Norris approved. It's like, nice. That's better than the flame, honestly. Okay.
People who are more smarter and intelligent than me and have a greater sense of humor, I must crush them.
Okay, Dark. Next up, we have in the Elgunashipe Art
I'm not
Gallery.
dark.
In the Elgunashipe Art Gallery, we have aardvarks are pretty useful. Showing aardvarks.
Who would have guessed we
Again,
got a
I'll
title
back it
like
up.
that?
And apparently they're Russian.
Da, 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 da.
What?
Yes, doing heavy job.
That's better. Okay.
Actually, the reference, because you didn't get it, Homer, it's from the Gmod Idiot Box series on YouTube, when apparently the guy's computer died and his old previous computer played the heavy going da 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 da
I see.
as it signaled that it died. If you have not seen that series, watch it now.
And providing your non sequitur for the day is Squato. And last but not least, in the off-topic forums, you can find the My Little Apocalypse Pony Friendship is Doom forum thread. It does open up with a series of polls asking for which of the main six should play which of the apocalypse
Four
ponies, the four horsemen.
Four horse girls.
I can see Rainbow Dash being war. I kind of get Pinkie Pie being famine or pestilence. Okay, yeah.
It's Weird Al.
Twilight Sparkle
Spider-
being death.
yeah.
That's a bit of a stretch.
I was actually just about to suggest that. It's because she's got that whole goth thing going. Sort of. And
Sort
I'm going to
of.
shut up now.
Yeah. Okay, so I shall visit them and make known that we have done so at a later point. Meanwhile, back at the Bunnycast.
Meanwhile, back at the halls of justice.
We have had.
Oh no, we could have had the great. That was a perfect time to have done the 1960s Batman when they did the interchange. That no thing. That's it.
Diddle-diddle-diddle.
I just surprised my wife when I did that. Anyways, back with the Bunnycast. Just as a regular thing that we do to remind everybody that we are working on making this a for-profit thing so we can do this as a full-time job and continue to bring you the fine quality programming featuring kazoos and washboards and beer bottles.
And ear ropes.
We are looking to do a little bit of donation fundraising, and surprise, surprise, we have had some bunnies already start donating because we don't know if these bunnies want their identities made known to the general public. We are going to keep that under wraps for the time being. In the meantime, yes, we are getting donations.
We're just calling them Bob.
Yes. For now,
Bob.
thank you, Bob.
Here's to you, Bob.
Oh, geez. Now I'm thinking of those really, really bad American beer commercials. Okay, so in order to get away from.
Well, I was about to say, when you is that just a bad beer commercial, or is it just bad American beer? Because there kind of is a bit of a difference between the two.
No, this is the bad commercial. Because remember, I don't drink
I'm going
beer.
to play safe because I know I'm going to play safe because I know that there's some Americans that really like their beer, even though it tastes like piss.
Here's to you, Bunnycast donators. God, I hate those commercials. Anyways, so getting back on topic, for those who might have businesses that would be able to service our international audience, or even just an American or British or Australian or wherever you are audience, we're not terribly picky.
Finnish.
Sure, Finnish. Sure. Don't know how big of a Finnish bunny population we have, but hey, I know we've got a few. Yeah, a few. In any case, if you would like us to plug your business, we will gladly do so. And just as a demonstration, one of the shows that we're going to be doing as a future Bunnycast is going to be broadcasting as a technician for my company called Naked Computers does some work. So let's say that I were to be doing a commercial for Naked Computers as a third party. So here's how it would go. All right, so we're just going to take a word to talk about one of our sponsors. We're going to talk about today Naked Computers. These guys have got over 15 years of experience in the IT industry, and just so that you know that they're doing good work on your computer, if they ever have to do physical hardware repairs, they will be showing online what you're going to be doing, or what they are going to be doing to your computer, and giving a running commentary so you know exactly what the diagnosis is, what the part is that they're replacing is supposed to address, and you'll be able to see as they do the repairs live online at a web address that they will be giving you when you start your repair. But of course, they don't just do hardware, they also do software. Software doing via remote support, or even if you have to bring your computer in because it's just not booting. Here's the best part for our listeners for this month. For the month of July, Naked Computers is doing a 25% off special on computer cleaning and security audit, and they're going to provide even to residential and small business customers something that they normally only do for their business clients. They're going to do a free upgrade assessment for you. See what can be upgraded or what needs to be upgraded right away, or if it can even wait a little while with just a few minor tweaks and changes. Maybe a free software upgrade will meet your needs for the next year and a half. So just as a reminder, nakedcomputers.biz is the website, and they are doing a 25% off special for this month, the month of July only. It's called the Patriot Special, and yes, it does celebrate the American Independence Day, July 4th. So
yes, don't celebrate the independence of your country by blowing a part of it up. Celebrating it by having your computers fixed.
I was actually talking to some of my friends today about the American War of Independence. Apparently, the main reason why you won against the British was because the French were also fighting the British at the same time and won a decisive victory in the thing, thereby cutting off all supply the British troops had. So, yes, the American War of Independence was won by the French.
And then the French
according
lost.
to them anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair, if you actually had spoken to someone in the 1830s, they would have been, well, with the exception of, was it 1804, was it, when they had the pseudo war with France? Everyone would have been like, oh yeah, France won the war. That's perfectly fine. Everyone's happy. Vive la France. Except for when America almost went to war with France.
So if you are a company that would like to advertise on the Bunnycast, that was a small idea of what your advertisement will sound like. And for further information, go ahead and send us an email at bunnycast@gmail.com. And yes, we are working on getting our own domain, thanks to the donations from listeners like you. So let's.
And if you're if any businesses want us to, I was going to say, if any businesses want us to do a sarcastically mocking version of an ad for you, we're happy to do that as well.
Absolutely.
Well, I was going to say that if you want us to interject with whatever commercial that we're doing by bringing up random facts about France, the American War of Independence, or anything like that, we're quite happy to facilitate.
So let's move on to our miscellaneous news segment. I'll go ahead and start things off with the serious story. We have a story about Skype. This story is getting weirder and weirder as time goes on. Now, of course, anybody in the tech business will understand that Skype has always kind of been a bunch of douches, but it's gotten even worse lately with the Microsoft buyout having been approved, and a lot of weird stuff is coming to light, including a story that happened a couple weeks ago about Skype letting go most of their senior staff and a bunch of their junior staff, if you will, right before Microsoft moves in. And then you have another story that's come to light, which is, as far as I understand, still being investigated. Basically, a bunch of Skype employees who had a bunch of stock options were essentially required to sign a contract that allowed Skype to terminate their stock options and reclaim them without paying a dime to the employee.
Well, it was actually the thing is it's with Silicon Valley. It's kind of a normal part of thing that happens because these are people that have worked with the company from very early on and have gone there or been there for a while. And sort of one of the things with Silicon Valley is it's because of a lot of it with startups. The general rule is, well, if you've got a startup company, it's perfectly acceptable for that person to, if they're going to join the company, have the option of getting stocks. So if they leave the company, they get money from it because this is how everyone sort of works that business because it's basically been the way Silicon Valley's worked from day one because that's when people would leave one company they've been successful with it because they were really, the idea is they got ownership of the company, so they really wanted to succeed. When they leave, they get the money to use that in the company or in other companies and start their own things. So that's how it all sort of starts going around. What's caused with this throwing around is that it's basically the stocks. How was it put before? Yeah, the stocks have basically been controlled by whoever is basically looking after who had the money originally, and they're saying, "Oh no, we didn't give you permission to take that money," and it's really giving a big thing for Silicon Valley because they're going, "Hang on, you're just trying to change the game plan from how it's worked for 30 years." Well, yeah, other companies have done it before, but no one as big or as bad as.
This is a big news deal. It's a big issue right now because it's a company that has been overvalued, undervalued, finally being bought by Microsoft, still one of the biggest names in the industry, and then all of a sudden this comes out, which, sure, this could be a standard practice, but whether it's a standard practice or not, it's a dick move.
It's not. The other thing is, well, when the companies have done it before, they've always had it actually written into their contract saying that there was what they would do under specific circumstances that they would not allow you to get it, and those people will be let go under those specific circumstances. So, yeah, they didn't get that extra money.
Well, from the article addressing the contract thing, this is, I think, the money quote. The contract Lee signed is incomprehensible. It makes federal legislation read like a Dick and Jane book.
See Dick sell his Skype stock options for less money than he got them. See Dick try to sue Skype. See Dick and Jane have to move out of their luxury condo and into the ghetto.
In the ghetto. The point was that these places the rule, everyone sort of followed the policy is they can do it, and company, as I said, people are sort of aware of it, but no one's really, like any of the big venture capitalists and people like that, I was trying to think of the term, have ever used the idea of, well, you take the stock options back from the person, even though they kind of wasn't there. People are arguing that the vague terminology used by Scott was way too vague because, and it is, if you've actually read their statement is. And that people are annoyed because they think this could actually see a lot of businesses that are going to start up go, hang on, we're going to have this option where you're going to join our company, and instead of you getting a potential as a very early person that has this whole point of wanting to build this company, really want to make it successful, you get nothing when you leave.
Yeah, well, it's. I mean, part of this is going to be capitalism at work. If you know, of course, the big problem with capitalism at work is it requires an informed populace, and what remains to be seen how informed people are choosing to be on this count. I mean, for heaven's sake, I know that for myself, I would look at the contract, and if my brain did not seize up, I don't think I'd look to talk to a lawyer before being hired, because I'd want to be hired by a big up-and-comer with something that looks really promising. And I understand why this guy would have signed this contract without having a lawyer review it. That said...
No, this is with a lot of people that are getting this issue. It's not just one person.
No, and I understand. But
yeah.
The point is, still, a lawyer had not even touched this for a vast majority of people. And the general thinking is, well, I want this job. If I say, let my lawyer review this hiring contract, chances are I'm going to get immediately passed over for being hired, and they're going to fill the position with somebody else who's not going to say that.
Yeah, well, this is the flip side argument, because the people who they said it's way too vague, and that means that people can challenge it. Say, look, I was let go. This is my contract said this, and they're arguing on this point. Now, there kind of is a point in the contract which says that, but the wording for it is it's not the case of we will when we would dismiss you, if you're dismissed under these certain conditions with this certain point, you will have your things withdrawn. They say there's a possibility that you may have your options withdrawn, but they don't really go into how that happens. And so,
yeah, now,
it's a big thing. Expect there are going to be some lawsuits on this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The short version.
And again, that for me, that's our system at work. It's not the best way to do it. It still leaves room for douchey behavior, and people are still going to be stuck in the lurch while everything gets worked out, and the lawyers are always going to get more money. But if Skype, aka Microsoft, gets smacked down over this, a lot more companies are going to be
no. This is not Microsoft that's doing this. This is actually the people that started up Skype originally.
According to American law, when Microsoft buys Skype, guess what also transfers? Any culpability or liability moves over to Microsoft. I'm sure Microsoft is starting to say, what did we get ourselves into?
Yeah, they'll probably, if anything starts to get to the stage of potential lawsuit, Microsoft's going to settle straight away, because they got caught into this problem, and they don't want it to be a problem. Particularly because Microsoft is a company that likes to actually get tech development going, so they don't want to see a new mindset come into Silicon Valley, which is basically shut down all chances for anyone that's got a great idea to come into it, unless they basically sell the idea off to some person that has no fucking idea behind it.
Exactly. So, for those who want to dig a little deeper, follow the situation, go to your favorite search engine and go do a search in their news section for Skype stock situation. This particular article I'm referring to is on CNN Money, written by Dan Primack, Primack. That covers...
The points I'm saying with mine came from Jamie Savage from Mythbusters, because he'd sort of had a few tweets on it and linked a few things and articles on that, which basically gave the sort of rough idea I had. So if you really want to get where my points were coming from, go to look at his Twitter feed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Squato, since you're already on a roll here, why don't you start covering your news item?
Okay. Sorry, I just had to fix something up. Put stuff down.
Okay, while Squato's doing that, Killerfish.
Okay. Right. I shall talk about the most epic event that's occurred in this year so far. And anybody who's...
Transformers 3? Sucks?
No, not that.
No, that was
the
expected.
Yes.
Green Lantern, the Green Lantern film sucking?
No, that was also expected.
What I'm talking about involves a guest of ours from a couple of weeks back. Yes, we interviewed Linkara, and him and the rest of the team team from thatguywiththeglasses.com have done their 3rd year anniversary special. Oh yes.
Part 6 has actually come up as we speak this, where Part 7 will come up to the next few hours.
Yes. Now, for those of you who have not been following That Guy with the Glasses or do not know what I'm talking about, every year as an anniversary they do something a little bit different, a little bit special. On their first anniversary they had the That Guy with the Glasses Team Brawl, where the Nostalgia Critic and the Angry Video Game Nerd, who have long had a troubled rivalry in the internet review circles, they met up in Chicago and they had a fight, and all these other internet reviewers joined in, and it was an epic brawl, which got
between
sort of
reviewers and gamers. It was how it split down.
And it was
the galaxy's biggest slap fight.
Yes. Well,
more than a few times it was a flap slide.
And it was epic and fun. And then the next year, what they did was the Nostalgia Critic, leader of the guywiththeglasses.com. He discovered a country just outside of Nevada, which technically was its own country.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
It's a micronation for anyone that's ever once searched the term. Yes, micronations exist.
Yes. And he decided, with all his infinite wisdom, to take all of the internet reviewers he knew and to conquer that country. And the idea was rather simple. They named it Kickasia.
The idea to invade the country was rather simple. Well, the best way to take over the world is to take over one small step, and then you go from there. So they took over one small step.
Yes. With their own country.
And the country originally named... The micronation name is Molassia. It really does exist. The guy that... I honestly recommend you follow this guy's Twitter feed. He is fucking hilarious.
Now, I understand his desire to break away from the United States of America at this point.
Yes, that was what I was
actually the reason this guy broke away. I got it. Sorry to cut you up with the Killerfish, but I'll just say because people are like, he broke away like
anyway.
Okay. This guy originally broke off from the United States, not because of the fact he wanted to split off from America, but because a lot of other people were like, oh, I'm going to split off from America, and I don't like America, I'm going to have my own country. And because they were doing it, he's like, I'm going to do it just for the sake of having some fun with it. And he's just doing it for the sake of mocking them by doing it himself.
Yeah, that works.
So, but particularly because of this point, is a lot of them, when they split off, they were able to have the duchy, or they have the kingdom, or the imperial grand vizier type titles and nations, things like that. He's just a president. Granted, he's the only person there, but he's actually a president.
Hey, it makes the elections
easy. He lives with his family there.
He's actually at war with East Germany.
A country which does not exist anymore, yes.
That's what's happened in the previous 2 years. This year, what has occurred is the members of That Guy with the Glasses have gone on an epic quest to find a magical item. It's all very swords and sorcery, and involves LARPing, and has all of various different reviewers dressed up as fantasy characters, such as Link from Legend of Zelda.
And Link's balls.
Yes, I was going to talk about that in a minute or two. Thank you for completely spoiling the whole thing there, Squato. Thank you, I'm just going to leave now.
Bye, that little hit you on the ass.
He doesn't, he's not even apologetic, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's
anyway,
my charm!
I don't want to spoil it, because it's a good thing to go to That Guy with the Glasses and just watch the series. It's funny as all out. You've got people dressing up in silly outfits, having sword fights on a children's playpen.
Yes, they actually filmed this near Doug's real house too.
Doug would be the guy who plays the Nostalgia Critic. And yes, Doug did dress up as Link, and he wore the Link tunic, and this is where Squato interrupted me a couple of minutes ago. when he was wearing the Link tunic, it was explained to the character, the nostalgia critic, that he wasn't quite used to wearing an outfit which exposed him as it did.
Nice.
And they did a 2-minute joke about leading up to how he was not getting the point.
Yes.
Right.
It was a lot of it was visually elevated, which was actually makes it even more hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But just I suggest, and it's fun. They obviously have a lot of fun doing these sort of specials for and as I said, it's the 3rd anniversary of That Guy with the Glasses. Thatguywiththeglasses.com.
I do suggest if anyone is actually interested in looking at it, who hasn't seen it yet, it's kind of a smart idea to sort of look at some of the other videos on the site, or at least some of the other people, so you get an idea of how these people are. But there is sort of one of the particular points is because one of the guys actually plays, what's the villain's name from that Jeremy Irons played in the Dungeons and Dragons film? He's actually his fantasy character is basically that. He even chews the scenery with as much cheese as he does with that role, especially because he does that.
Oh, and Phalus, I think that's his name.
Yeah.
Yes.
He
I wanted to like that film. I really did. I really wanted to.
It's cheese, but it's brilliant cheese.
It is sort of mozzarella with kind of like a baby Edam, melted together, and served in a pie.
Wait, my overacting. I've pooped my pants. Wait, my character would poo in my pants. I can use this. Yes, I've pooped my pants.
Right.
And everybody back away from the Australian.
This is becoming a meme.
It actually is, because there's a particular crazy face period during the Dungeons and Dragons bit when they've got the dragons attack. He just really goes over the top, and he gets the face almost looks like he's had a bit of constipation, and then it's like, yes, I'm celebrating the fact I've cleaned it. That's what happens when Jeremy Irons doesn't give a shit. He does facial expressions like that.
There was this one movie. I did it for the money.
Well, at least he's not like the guy that's got the blue lips.
Yes. I really wanted to like. Okay, we're really rabbit holing this. Squato.
Yes.
Squato, go.
Is that a new term? Rabbit holing as opposed to tangenting.
Yes.
Because that would be so apt for us.
Let's go deeper.
Wow.
Actually, I'll do a side one because the main slide up on this one. Since we've actually done the recording, which is also looked into was Operation Rainfall. That's the name for it? Yeah, Operation Rainfall. Operation Rainfall, for those people who are unaware of it, is a fan-driven campaign because with E3 there was not any information on the following games from Nintendo: Xenoblade, Blast Story, and Pandora's Tower. These are Wii titles that have either published or actually been created by Nintendo. There's fans in the West that are really big for them because they're only exclusively in Japan, and people are wanting Nintendo to bring them out. Nintendo said, yes, we've followed this, we've heard your story, we're really happy with it, and we're going to give you an update on this. Updates come out. They're not going to do anything about it.
I'm sorry, was anyone really surprised?
Nope.
Yeah, okay. Just checking.
Yeah, the fans really are pissed off on that move, particularly because they were really doing some big points to actually help it get on there. For instance, they put the Last Story, was it? No, the Xenoblade. They actually put that on Amazon's top pre-order list last week.
Even though it wasn't
to really
actually...
help drive pre-order. It has not been released. They put it onto the pre-order list because they wanted to actually. It was on the pre-order list, and they were really putting the listed down for pre-order because they really wanted this game to come out. They really wanted Nintendo to take notice of the fact it was there.
Okay, I'm a fan of
Nintendo
certain things that, I don't necessarily really honestly expect that they will be continued or generated, but I'm not putting actual money on something that I'm pretty sure that like 99 to 100% sure the creator's not going to continue.
Yes, I'm like you. I do not pay money for a bunch of rocks in a box.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the idea is with this is they wanted a swan song, so that's kind of why they pushed it. So, maybe we might see a bit of a difference on this one. Hopefully we will, because these games actually are very highly rated over Japan. What I mean by highly rated, I mean they're getting scores of around 30, like the big, is it Famicima, the one it does every week? That's given these games somewhere between 35 to 38 out of 40. And that's basically their AAA titles, so meaning quality.
Right.
They don't give scores that high. So yeah, maybe keep an eye on that one. The thing I was pretty much going to talk on there, since we covered a little bit last week, was with Team Fortress 2. There's kind of been a bit more update with that, and it's sort of more the reaction from it. Community basically is split on it, because there's people that are okay with it because they feel it's going to be very big, it's going to be happy, and there's going to be some movement on it. And then you're getting a lot of sections and some of the communities which basically they've got their servers, and yeah, they're free to you can access them without issue. There's no passwords or anything like that. But if you try to log in and if someone's got a free account, you will not be able to access it. And the reason, there is some legitimate reasons for it, and there's others which are just petty. Part of the pettiness is they're just not happy with the fact that it suddenly had this thing, the game's gone free to play. But there is some legitimate to it, and that is just because Valve just sort of dropped the announcement on that. No one had saw it, no one coming. There was no word, no hints, no nothing. And there's a lot of built-up communities, and this is where this point come in, that it's a bit annoying for people, because there was a lot of support for it, and there was a lot of there was a lot of the communities have been able to build themselves up for it. They've been able to get a lot of I'm getting my brain freeze at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to say you're not making a lot of sense here. So while you are scrambling your brain trying to figure out what you're going to say, I'm going to throw out the following commentary. As somebody who plays Team Fortress 2 on the Xbox 360 as part of the Orange Box, I really do enjoy hopping onto a public server, and I generally like to play the ones where there's no preset restrictions on class, weapons that you can use, etc. And I generally have a good time. There are, of course, major douches. These are public servers, not ranked at all. I like playing the non-ranked because generally there's a lot less intensity to how it's played. On that token, however, you're going to get people who are brand new to the game, who've never played it before, who don't know how to play it. I just yesterday I was playing as a heavy. No, not as a heavy. No, I was playing as a spy. That's right. I was playing as a spy. I played as a heavy.
Heaviest spy.
I was playing as a spy, and I was going through the base. I was a member of Blue Team. I was going through the blue base to get to the underground tunnels to go beneath the bridge to the opposite side's fortress to attempt to infiltrate to get the intelligence. For some bizarre reason, a noob playing a medic decided, I'm going to follow this spy and give him lots and lots of health boost. And I'm all, what are you doing, you idiot? You are going to reveal me no matter where I go, as long as you're blasting me with your health beam. And it's like, okay, you're going to get noobs. You're going to get people who don't know what the frack they're doing. Now, oh shoot, what's the name of the webcomic? There was a webcomic. I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Penny Arcade, is it?
No.
With the shoot the medic?
No. 2-player start? Anyways, I'll find out later, I'm sure. Anyways, this webcomic
We're all brain freezing, it seems.
showed this magnificent scenario where it's playing these characters as though the players were the characters for this scene. Shows a spy walking into the base. So, what do you think of these free-to-play players? Well, I actually had an incident happen that I've never seen before. So, an engineer comes in and shoots me in the back. Okay, fine, but because I'm an experienced spy, I've got this ability of which is not on the Xbox version, so I forget the name. I have this ability that it's a ghost. This body drops in front of the engineer. And
I know it's the one. I can't think of what it's called. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm cloaked behind, and I'm watching, and instead of moving on, he starts to teabag me. And I'm thinking, wow. And so the person the spy's talking to, I think not a Cyclops, Demo Man, he says, oh, so he was, you were able to backstab him? And the spy says, oh, it was magnificent. It was like he was a turkey all ready to be sliced up, and I got all the legs. The thing that bothers me when experienced people gripe about noobs in any game is you're going to have noobs in any game. You're going to have to deal with the noobs in any game at any level of play. And there's going to be somebody who's doing something that you consider bone stupid. If they're on your team, it's not as great as if they're on the opposing team. Because when they're on the opposing team, you can take advantage of it like a boss. But
that's how some players seem to like it, that they can actually go into a game and they can basically, they don't need to worry about anything as long as they're always on the winning side and it's their particular flavor of it is always winning and no one does anything other than let them win. They're going to be having a joy of their life.
Yeah.
Granted, they're going to be a fucking arsehole, but they're going to have the time of their life.
The thing is all these noobs, there's one of two things that's going to happen. Either they're going to keep playing and they're not going to be noobs anymore. And if you are decent to them, you treat them like fellow gamers, and sure, you don't have to be all nicey nice. You can be yourself. But if you've treated them like players throughout the entirety of their noob cycle, then they're going to be good teammates when they're on your team. They're going to be good opponents when you're facing them in an arena of whatever sort. If you treat them like an asshole, if they have not already blocked you, they're going to be able to come after you with a vengeance when they've mastered, say, the heavy or the engineer or the spy, and you're now a sitting duck to them because they've exceeded your ability. Or the other option is the noob is going to get tired of being owned over and over, and they're going to leave the game and they're never going to play it again. Meaning
that the community gets much smaller.
Whether the community is smaller or not, it doesn't matter. The noobs are either going to become better players or they're going to leave. One way or the other, the noob problem is dealt with over time, but there's always going to be new noobs coming in.
So I guess
what my point is that you're going to have, if the community thing sort of builds up with the point that there's these noobs are getting to get shot down, and it's the reaction is, oh, the noobs bad, just treat them badly, and they're just going to turn off from it. You're not having new source of players because they're going to get a build up of people having this old. As soon as it went free to play, that game sucked south. It just turned south. It's just gone bad.
I'm sorry, I had something in my throat. Killerfish, go.
What I was going to say is, I guess the moral of the story is that being a sore winner is just as bad as being a sore loser. That was all I was going to say.
I like it. I want that up on my wall.
Now, I kind of got my brain scrambled with what I was going to say beforehand anyway. And what I was saying is yes, there is communities that sort of build up and go able to get their own mindsets, their own sort of base of standards, things like that. A really good one, and this is one I actually do follow it a bit, it's a group called Ozphysicity. For anyone that's interested, yes, they're a furry group, but they actually are very open to anything, and they are Just be aware they do allow sprays for anyone that wants to look at it, but they do certain things with the when they do their tricks. For instance, they have, for some of their maps, they have certain limits on what you can play. For instance, there's only 2 heavies per map on some maps, and the reason for that is because they want to make sure the teams are balanced and everyone is having fun. And when they do this stuff, they explain it to people when they do this stuff.
So, a responsible community.
Yeah. And this community is actually one of the big as one to really pay attention to it, because they actually have the ear of Team Fortress 2's people.
Really?
I know this they do, because there's the Saxon Hail mod that came out. For anyone that's interested with Team Fortress 2's online or with PC, there's a certain mod, certain maps you can play with where you've got it's the arena map anyway, which is basically if you die, when you die you don't respawn. And this map in particular, you have one person will be playing as Saxon Hail, and everyone else will be on the other team, and they will be basically trying to kill Saxon Hail.
That's funny.
And it's the soldier's body, but it's his face on the top of it as the mask. Oh, it's fucking hilarious to play these games, particularly when you have a 32-player match, and you'll have 31 players trying to go against Saxon Hail, and Saxon Hail basically only has a shovel, his bare fists he's punching people with, and they're shooting with him with every single weapon they have in the game, and they are unable to defeat him. These ones are great.
Okay, so we are running at about an hour at this point, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up.
I'm going to say on that one is, these ones, these mods, the people, community events, they really like it when they stand stuff like that. Where they're unhappy, in this one particularly, they made the great points of where free-to-play is a problem, is one of the problems that they do have, because as I said, it's a furry group, so you had anti-furries go on there going, oh, fucking furries, and they just basically rip the place and mic spam it to basically piss people off. So because of the fact that it's the community, they don't like people doing that. Simple, ban them. Now the game's gone free to play, unfortunately, they can't control that, because the problem is someone can have their account banned. Well, there's an easy way to fix that. Create a new account, have the game set up, and they can do it again. And they've actually had that problem has occurred, and this is not them, the only ones that have had this. Others have had this problem come up where someone will be spamming one group, gets banned because they're spamming it and being an asshole. They'll just set up a new account under a new Steam account, and they'll just start hitting it again.
I'm sure these are technical issues that are going to be worked out, and okay, without tangenting even further, like I said, we are topping out at about an hour, so we're going to go ahead and close off this section of the Bunnycast. Please, everybody who is listening, stay tuned for part 2. Everybody else, that's you, Killerfish and Squato, hang out, and we will be back.
Yay.
No!
The Bunnycast is a production of the Bunnycast Network. The opinions of the guests and hosts are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the network. Because of Your Grace is a production of Seth Jeffrey and is used without permission. No Strings Attached, Octavia Battle Theme, is written and performed by Jeffrey Jokum, aka Stars in Autumn, and is available on the artist page at soundcloud.com. 5, 4, 3. Okay, welcome to another episode of the Bunnycast, number 48. We are in this part 1 of episode... No, okay, I'm starting over. 3, 2... Welcome to podcast. Oh, shit. 3, 2... Bunnycast number 48, part 1, going up. Today we discuss... damn it. Okay, I like the start. Let me do this again.
Today we discuss, oh damn it.
3, 2, 1. Podcast. Shit, why do I keep doing that? Okay. 3,
Time to charm.
3, 2, 1. Bunnycast episode 48, part 1, going up. Today we talk a lot about the forums and the comic, of course, and we also talk a lot about Skype stock options. Squato introduces us to some kerfuffle with Nintendo. Killerfish goes into fail.
Are we adding this to the end of the thingy again?
This is better than what we had before, so yeah, sure. Okay, 3, 2...
Bunnycast 48. Whole lot of fail.
Fuck. 3, 2,